Okay, everyone. So what we're going to do today is talk about drawing the portrait and then the features of the portrait, the eyes, nose, the mouth. And we're going to focus on a straightforward view as well as a three-quarter view. Okay, those are the two that you will be dealing with mostly in this class. Okay, so we're going to begin by starting talking about proportions. So when I begin a drawing, there's several different ways to, people do the portrait. This is the way that I do the portrait. Starting with the light pencil, I'm starting with my HB. Remember, you always want to go light till you get it right, build it up. So, starting with the light pencil, I'm going to begin by sketching in kind of like the head shape. Kind of like an egg. Just doing like the same, like a quick gesture of putting that little egg shape in, okay? Where it's like it's big towards the top and then it like goes down, tapers down, okay? And what I want to, to know what we're going to be drawing is mostly, it's like a general shape of the head and of the face and everything. But of course, as you specify it to look like yourself or whoever you're drawing, different features change. But this is a general layout of how all of our faces are, okay? So now that I got that shape in, that egg shape, draw a horizontal line, a vertical line. Draw a vertical line going down the middle of that shape, okay? This vertical line is like our center point of our face. It changes as the head moves, but we're focusing on straight ahead. So you want to be able to get that symmetrical right in the middle of that piece, okay? Now, drawing a horizontal line this time, I'm going to, from the top of the head, from the top of the head to like the bottom of the chin area where I created here, I'm going to look for the middle of that, okay? So I'm going to say, just eyeing it, the middle is about right there, okay? So I'm going to draw a line across. This line going across is going to represent where our eyes are coming in, okay? Then from the eye line I just created, going down to the chin line, I'm going to look for the middle area of that. Say it's about right here. Okay. This is where our nose is coming in. From the line we just created to the chin, we're going to split that in half again. Say about right here. And then this is where the bottom of the mouth is going to be. So we have our eyes, nose, our mouth. Okay? So now, trying to make sure these lines are vertical. Oh, excuse me, are straight, and then, because if not, it's gonna give you some problems. So just try to get it straight as you can, and making sure that these lines are parallel. Okay. So now, just like when we were citing and measuring, and you took one part of the drawing and used that to help align everything else, we're going to do the same thing for a portrait. I always begin with the eye on the right side. Technically it's the left eye, but as we're drawing it, it's on the right side. And then we just do like a little line there of where I want. Just about, a couple, like a half an inch away from the middle line. And then I draw my line in. I draw my eye in. I'm going to go in details on how to draw a line or how to draw the eye in later. But now just going to give like a general shape of an eyeball. Okay? So it's about that big. Put in the iris and the pupil. Okay. So now that we have that eye in, the distance between one eye to the other eye is an eye. So it's an eye across. So you can take your pencil and try to measure it out. But when I started drawing, what I had to do to make sure everything was accurate, and you could do this as well if it helps you, I would take a paper and just mark it out. Okay, so then now, beginning where that I begin, I'm going to bring the line over, make another little mark there, and then make another little mark there. So now, I know that this is the shape of the eye, this is the size of that eye needs to be, and then the space in between is the eye, okay? Now again, when you personalize it and draw a specific person or yourself, that changes. You know, sometimes people's eyes are a little closer together, sometimes it's a little further apart. But knowing the basic of how to, you know, generally set it up is what's going to help you, okay? So now, and also another thing to know, across the face, the face is usually 5 eyes apart, okay? Another thing to keep in mind. So, now that I got those marks in, I'm going to go ahead and draw the other eye in. I'm going to draw like a little line across so I can know about how far that eye should come up. So we got the second eye in. Now I'm going to go back to the original eye I was working on and then just add in some more details. Like our eye, you know, is round, so we're going to add in just a little eyelid. And I also like to add this little line underneath. It's like the bottom of the eye. Okay. Now to get our eyebrow in, our eyebrow is going to be, it lines up with the eye duct or the beginning of the tear duct, excuse me, beginning of your eye. And then it goes out about half a eye space from the end of the eye, okay? So I'm eyeballing it, going to go about right here. So I'm going to say my eyebrow is going to end about right here, okay? So the distance from the eye to the eyebrow is about the size of an eye. So just going to circle to get like the motion and say it's about this high up, okay? So now just draw in a quick little eyebrow with those measurements I just created. Okay, so just getting in the eyebrow. Of course, there's so many different shapes to an eyebrow. We're just going to use that. Okay. Now, we're going to create a new line here from the brow line. Going across. Make another horizontal line. Okay. And then now you're going to split up from the from here, from the eyeball, from the brow line to about the top. We're going to create another third that's equivalent to this third, this third. So we'll go about right here. This is going to represent our hairline. Now, of course, the hair is going to be as big as we want to, you know, so it's going to extend way past that. But this is generally where the hair is going to come in, okay? So now, thinking about all the lines that we created, if this is a line down here, and then from the chin to the nose line, this section is a third. From the nose line to the brow line, this section is a third, and from the brow line to the hairline, this section is a third. Okay? Let me bring that up. Okay, so that's basically how it's set up. Your face is divided into thirds, from the hairline to the brow line to the nose line to the chin. Okay, now let's get into some more features. Well, first let me add in my other eyebrow and finish out the eye on the other side. Just try to keep it as symmetrical as possible. Okay, just about halfway out of the eye. And then drawing that eyebrow. Constantly looking at my first one, trying to keep them symmetrical. Okay? So now let's get in the nose to show you how the nose and the mouth is set up. I always go back to the same eye that I started with, okay? This is like my reference to keep referring back to, okay? So if I draw, usually do like a dotted line down just to help keep it light. A dotted line from the tear duct of that eye to the nose line. This is how far the nose is going to extend, the nostrils. So using the center line, and then make sure that it's centered based on where we put the eyes, because we know our eyes are exactly an eye apart. So if you need to move that line over a little bit, that's fine. So now, using the center line here, I'm going to begin by drawing, and the shape of the nose that I'm going to draw in. And we'll go into details as well as about how to do a proper nose. But this general shape is going to be like a little, like that's the tip of the nose, like a U almost, that curves out on both ends. And then like kind of a parentheses around that. Okay? And then you see those where the nostrils are, and that's like the size of the nose. Okay, so we're gonna draw in that shape here, and the parentheses part, that's where it lines up to the eye, to the end of the eye. Okay, so we could do that on both sides. And again, just like with all your drawings, go slow so you make sure that you're lining everything up correctly. And when you're, for this, we're kind of working from our imagination, just lining it up. I'm not working from a reference, but once you start, working from a reference, your photo, or, looking in the mirror and doing yourself, really pay attention to where these lines and everything meets up, okay? So then now we got in our general nose shape. Now to put in the mouth. So going back to this eye, I'm going to go to like the middle of that eye. And then I'm going to bring some lines down, straight down, all the way to the end of where the mouth meet. This is how far the mouth is going to go out on both sides. Okay. Now, as I said, this is the bottom of the mouth, the line we created. So if you go up maybe looking at the space between the nose and the mouth line, go up about a third of the way. Go right here. And that should represent your mouth, okay? The middle of your mouth, let me say that. Okay? So what you're going to do is just draw a line across, very thin. Or very light, I should say. And then for the mouth shape, what I'm going to do, this is my line across. I'm going to do like a curvy, wavy line on there. On that horizontal line. representing the middle of the mouth. Then do like a M shape above it, and just like a curve below. Okay, so start with the wavy line, bring that all the way out to the lines we created. Do like my little M shape, and make sure the middle of that M shape, where your cupid's bow is, that's what we're putting in, is right in the middle. Okay, and then just finish up the line. And just like the nose and the eyes, I'm going to go into detail in the next video about how to do those. Okay, but just getting a general shape in so you can see. Okay, so now got the features set up. So let's go ahead and finish it out. Now you can see the features are in there, but the shape of the face seems kind of weird, right? And again, that's why I said this original like egg shape we was making, it was gonna change. It was just there so we can, get the lines and everything set up. Okay. So now, going back to the original eye that we were working with, as I said before, the head is about 5 eyes apart. Okay, so our eyebrow came out to half of an eye from that eye we created. So if I come out another half, about right there, I can arguably say that's the end of my face. Okay, then I'm gonna do that on the other side as well. And so it's about that's the end of the face. So now I'm just gonna draw in very lightly because it could change. Drawing in the shape of my face. So it's like small up towards the chin, and it kind of tapers out. Something like that. Then do it on the other side. This is when you're really looking at your reference to see like where does your person's face curve in, where does it curve out. And another thing, when you are drawing a person, the main thing to get that likeness of them is to have your the eyes. If the eyes are not right, the likeness is just going to be completely off. Okay? So now I'm going to just go up with it. Okay? Now, last thing that we have to draw, well, getting to the last thing. But something else we need to get in there is the ears. So I put in the face, like the structure of the face first before I put the ears in. Hold on. This part is bothering me. Let me fix this. If it's any part that's not looking right for you, fix it. That's why they have erasers. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, but the ear. The ear goes from the brow line here to the nose line. The ears are, actually kind of big. So, looking straight ahead, the ear, we're going to see mostly like the sides of the ear. So I usually do like this little shape coming up this way. And then come down, you can move around because like this is our ear lobe. So then just do like a general like ear shape, get that up there, okay? You can add in some extra lines too for details. And then just do down this side. The brow line to the nose line is our ear, okay? Now again, some people ears you can see way more of it from the viewing them from the front. Some people see less, you know. Just depends on who you're drawing. Okay. Okay. That's fine for now. Just do like a little neck coming down just to get some more shapes in there. So now, I have in my most of my face. Only thing left is to do the hair. Now this, as we said, is our hairline, right? So we could do like, get our shape in there for our hair, for our hairline. Something like that. Going from the ears. Just do like a, the edge of the hair. But you can do, you can do whatever type of hairstyle you want. I'm going to go ahead and make this person a lady. And then I'm going to give them like a high bun. So I'm going to go out from the hair, from the skull that we created before. And just kind of play around with the hair. So it's something like this. I guess this could be a guy too. Just depends. And then now once you get that in, you can go ahead, once you get your hair in, you're going to erase the lines that you don't need anymore. Okay. So now this is our general shape of getting our portrait in there, okay? This is the average, this is the average portrait. But yours is, no one's is going to look the same unless you're drawing the same person. But now from this, you know how to get it set up. Start off with your egg shape of the head. And then, you're going to adjust it later. But that shape is to help you get going in there, okay? And then you, the axis, the center line. The center line is, to separate the face and to help you get everything set up for proportions. Then start off by going out a little bit from that center line. You draw in your eye shape. Once you get your eye in, you're going to measure across and then do one eye apart. It's the next eye, okay? Draw that in and then going to go halfway out from the eyes on both sides. That's the distance of your eyebrows. Once you get your eyebrows in, you know your eyebrow line, okay? Going from the tear duct to the bottom of the nose, to straight down, to where we said the nose line is, which was halfway in between the eyebrow line and the chin line. That's how far your nose is going to go out. And then the mouth, which was halfway in between the nose and the chin, goes out from the distance of the middle of the eye, okay? So then, once you get the measurements in, remember it should be separated into thirds. Here's our thirds. Then you're going to go in, once you get your measurements in for your drawing, you're going to go in with a softer pencil and do some shading. Not necessarily shading. For this project, the focus that we're working on is our line weight variation. You all know all about line weight variation, okay? From our previous projects. It is a little different, somewhat when you're focusing on the portrait and not objects. So I'm going to provide a video for you all as well about how to get, do line weight variation for a drawing, okay? But it's basically the main thing to remember is when you have things that overlap, like how your eyeball overlaps your eyelid overlaps your eye, you're going to get a shadow in there, okay? So right beneath the eye line at the top and where the eyeball comes in is darker because there's a shadow. Okay, just look at your eyes. You know, you'll see it. Just look in the mirror and you'll see how, you know, lighting hits your face and how shadows and everything comes in your face. And then go back in, you know, and deepen your eyebrow to get that in there. Okay. Same thing with your nostrils. It's gonna be darker. This our nose comes out from our face, so this area right there is gonna be a little shaded in beneath where the nose hits the side of the nose hits the face. Okay. Just do a little shading. For this, for starters, we're not really worried. Not worried about you all shading. I just wanna see you get the drawings in there. I'm focused on. I want to see your proportions and your line weight variation. But just putting a little bit in here so you all can see how this drawing came out. So in the Cupid's bow, look, you'll notice it's like when the light hits it, one side of it has a shadow. Okay. And then the same thing with our lips. Our lips come out, so underneath it we'll have like a shadow. So you'll do like a deeper line there. And then same with under the chin. Okay. Alright. So that's just a little bit. I'm only going to shade that one side of the face. But, you know, you can see how the proportions and everything coming in with the face. Okay. So now, next video I'm going to show, I want you to practice doing your own general face like this. One. And then I want you to get into a mirror and practice doing your face. Okay? Now, next we're going to talk about how the head changes when you do a 3/4 view.